Welcome to City Life. I'm Beverly Thompson. If you've been in downtown Durham lately, you know that parking can be a challenge. Well, now that's about to change. Joining me to talk about new parking meters that will soon be lining our downtown streets is Thomas Leathers with the Parking Management Division in our Transportation Department. Welcome, Thomas, to our show, and thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
So, Thomas, tell me a little bit about the new on-street parking program that's to come. What has changed and how is it different from what we've been doing?
Right. In downtown Durham, we have seen over the last couple of years, we've seen tremendous and significant growth. As a result of that success and the growth of downtown, we've seen increased demand for parking, especially in our valuable and scarce on-street parking spaces. So the new on-street paid parking program will help us to not only encourage vehicular turnover so that more customers can find parking spaces to visit our businesses, but it also can be used as a tool in controlling the demand of parking.
So we want parking to turn over. So going to an paid on-street parking plan will help speed turnover? Is that what the concept there?
That's correct. With the time restrictions that we will have on those parking spaces are pretty consistent as they are today. They will remain the same. It's just that the customers will pay for that time that they actually park. And then the utilization and the turnover of parking spaces mean that more customers can visit our downtown businesses to ensure a lively and thriving business environment downtown.
So how did you get to this point? How do you know that that's going to be something that will work for Durham?
Recently, the city commissioned a parking study, and we had Kimberly Horn to come in and analyze all of our parking demand and utilization rates in the downtown corridor. With that, they examined streets in the downtown loop area, around American Tobacco, Central Park, Brightleaf, and around the former Durham Bulls baseball stadium. So with that data that they collected, we were able to determine exactly the demand on parking in our on-street spaces. And by partnering with downtown Durham and some of our downtown stakeholders, we listened to the needs of the business community to kind of come up with a program that will help us to ensure the success of their businesses and the vitality of our downtown corridor.
So did you make slight changes leading up to this, or we're just boom going into paid on-street parking?
We did do it as a gradual approach. The parking study had a recommendation of 30 recommendations for the downtown area. So we back in 2014, we started implementing time restrictions. We expanded enforcement areas. We did public charrettes and educational campaigns with our stakeholders downtown. And one of the thriving moments would be the implementation of the paid on-street program. We kind of withheld that because it is going to be a drastic change to Durham to join our peer cities such as Charlotte, Raleigh, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, Asheville. They all have paid on-street parking programs.
Okay. So where will all of these parking meters be in downtown?
We are planning to install approximately 1,000 parking meters, and they'll be in the areas around the downtown loop, Brightleaf, West Village, American Tobacco Campus, around DPAC, around the Gear Street Entertainment District and the Central Park areas.
And why were those areas chosen?
Those are the areas that were studied in the parking study because they are pretty much the central core of our business districts that are downtown. So with the geography of the business district and the footprint of that, we decided to embrace that concept and the recommendations that were presented in the parking study.
And what is the new cost?
The new cost would be $1.50 per hour, and we will enforce that rate on Mondays through Fridays between 8 a.m. and 7 p.m., excluding city-recognized holidays.
And can you use various methods to pay? That's always my problem. I never have cash.
Yes, absolutely. We wanted it to be a convenient initiative for our customers. So customers were able to pay cash, coin, or credit card. Or pay by phone.
That's great. And I would assume, a lot of people have trepidations about using their credit cards for transactions like this. Is it safe?
It is. The payment card industry security standards, or the PCI, all of our machines are PCI compliant. So that means that they have been commissioned to protect all of the card holder data.
Okay. So tell me, why do some of the spaces have actual time limits on them?
Right. The parking spaces downtown, most of them, if not all, have a time restriction of either in 30 minutes around City Hall or an hour in some of the other spaces, or up to 2 hours. So all of the parking spaces in this, where we're going to implement this new metered program, have time restrictions to encourage the vehicular turnover.
Now, are there different time limits depending on where you are?
That's correct. In certain areas of downtown, we have 1 hour time limits, and those are more in demand inside the downtown loop. So West Parish Street, Main Street, Chapel Hill Street, right there in the central business core, they're usually an hour. When we go into other streets around DPAC and around American Tobacco, they could be up to 2 hours.
And I know something new that a lot of cities have now is a pay by phone app. Tell me a little bit about that, because I expect that a lot of millennials love using that pay for phone app, and just tell me a little bit more about how it works.
It will allow them to actually pay for their parking time via their cell phone or tablet or mobile device. So, for instance, if I parked over at Brightleaf Square and I parked in a 2 hour time restriction to attend a meeting or go to a restaurant, and I only pay for an hour initially. And you know, sometimes we may run over, our meetings may last longer than anticipated, or dinner may last longer. So the Pay by Phone app will send them an alert 15 minutes before their time expires.
Wow, that's
so they
cool.
can choose to extend their time up to the maximum 2 hour time limit.
That's pretty handy.
Yeah, it's pretty convenient.
Yeah. Well, with that then, are the meters themselves easy to use? I mean, will there be signage giving you blow by blow instruction on what to do?
Right. The meters that we chose and were selected are industry leaders in the field. So we studied and did site visits with other cities that use this technology and the meter equipment that we're going to have. That visitors and customers can go to our website, parkdurham.org, and we have instructional videos up there as well as written instructions. Also, each device will actually, the screen on each meter device will actually prompt the customer to the next steps that they're required to use to be able to use the meters, because it's new technology.
Yeah, that is very good. But even with all that, if a person has problems, notice I said not if I have problems, but if a person has problems, what do they do? Who do they call?
They can call the Park Durham office at 919-680-2481. Though that phone number will be placed on each device if they need assistance.
Okay.
So everyone will be able to contact our customer care center.
So have citation times or costs change?
No, we did not raise the parking citation fee for parking over time. So if you parked at a meter and the time expired and you end up receiving a ticket, it's still the same $20.
$20. Okay. And can you pay for that online?
Absolutely. We are about convenience for our customers. We want to stress, high levels of customer service. So a customer can actually call in on the phone to the office, or they can go to parkdurham.org and do the payment directly online.
So I know people never do this, but if they want to appeal a parking ticket, can you do that online too?
Yeah, absolutely. If they want to appeal a parking ticket, they have to do it within the initial 30 days after receiving the parking citation. And they can just simply do that online at parkdurham.org or stop by the customer service center in the Chapel Hill Street garage.
Okay, so what are the alternatives to parking on the street? I know we have garages going up in downtown.
Right. We have 4 parking garages right now, and we have about 6 surface lots. And customers can go in and pay hourly to park in those garages and apply for monthly permits. The rate in the garages and the surface lots are $1.25 per hour. So there is an incentive, especially if they want to park for longer periods of time. We would encourage them to use one of the off-street facilities, either a garage or a surface lot, to free up the on-street spaces for shorter-term parkers.
And we still, of course, have the Bull City Connector.
And we have the Bull City Connector, correct. And for some employers, we are working with Go Triangle, to examine and explore park and ride options. For customers who may just want to park, at a satellite location and be able to enjoy a nice cozy ride downtown.
Great, okay. Now I understand special event parking is about to change also, and what are those new rates and why were they needed?
Right. We're raising our special event parking rate from $3 per vehicle to $5 per vehicle. As many people know, we provide security officers in our parking garages, and it also aligns our parking garages with those garages around American Tobacco campus and the Durham County Judicial Center. So we raised it to be able to provide a more favorable experience to customers.
So I know a lot of people complain about special event parking costs, and compared to other cities, we're pretty standard or even lower.
That's correct. We
Yeah.
did a peer city analysis when we were examining and exploring it, raising our rates, and we come in right very competitively with all of our parking rates.
Now, when does the special event parking increase go into effect?
We're putting that into effect at the same time where we launched the meter, so it'll be late February, early March.
Okay, and the meters will be effective when?
We're looking to install them in late February.
Late February. Okay. So where can a person learn more about downtown parking, as if we haven't told them everything there is to know?
We have a website, parkdurham.org, that has been specially designed to provide, relevant information from the special event schedule. So if you want to know if parking is going to be impacted by special event or road closures, you can visit that website. With all of the construction activity downtown, and we have been working over the last few months in improving our parking infrastructure. We have any lot closures or any impacts that could affect parking downtown, we will announce that via our website.
Great. And you said earlier, Durham is just continuing to grow and the demand for parking is going to increase. I mean, that's just a given there. How will your department grapple with the increased parking demand in years to come? And what is the big picture for parking in downtown Durham?
Well, that's a great question. We have analyzed parking demands in downtown, and recently the City Council approved for the city to proceed with building a new parking garage that'll be located on the intersection of Morgan and Mangum Streets across from the McDonald's. That'll be approximately an 812 space parking garage that'll be placed there to help to accommodate some of that demand. We're also studying demands and working collaboratively with our city and county planning department and the Office of Economic and Workforce Development to analyze any rehabilitation projects or any site plans that have been, any development plans for downtown, so we can get on the front end of that to understand the parking impacts that a new development or redevelopment project may bring to downtown. We recently acquired the Park Plus, the parking demand modeling program that our staff uses and input, to analyze and to predict parking demands downtown.
So you're ahead of the game, or with the game, which is it?
We try to be right there. Parking, we have seen such exponential growth and demand downtown that we're trying to, we work collaboratively with our fellow government in the Durham County as well on parking demands. And we also are a resource to other downtown businesses to help them analyze their parking demands in collaboration with Go Triangle. And that collaboration helps us to identify if employers need to identify any commuter options for their employers, be it park and ride or the transit system that runs between Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill. So we try to have a coordinated approach to parking as a transportation option and not just as a standalone entity.
Great. Yeah, I can tell you guys have given this a lot of thought and even encouraged the participation of the community in this. So this is really good. Any closing thoughts you'd like to leave us with?
We would like to say thank you to our parking customers, and we appreciate their patience during this period of growth and uncertainty as we realize the downtown that I think all of us have envisioned for quite some time now.
Great. Thomas, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Beverly.
Well, that does it for City Life. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and watch us on Durham Television Network and on YouTube. I'm Beverly Thompson. Thank you for joining me to learn more about City Life in Durham.